Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. I'm back from Austria. I've been on holiday for 2 weeks, so I'm really glad to be back to be able to do this horoscope for you. I think I missed one or two of them, so I'm really happy to be able to do this. What I do in these weekly horoscopes is I look at each day and what the planets are doing and what energy they create amongst themselves. And astrology is based on the principle of as above, so below. So the energy they create up there is going to influence all of us down here on planet Earth. So these horoscopes are for all signs of the zodiac. So if you're a Virgo or a Sagittarius or an Aries, this is energy that's going to influence all of us down here, regardless of sign. So that's why I do these kind of little synopsis of the week in terms of the energy. And they're based on UK time, so just bear that in mind if you're watching from a different part of the world. I'm based in the UK, so. All right, so Monday the 4th of January, we've got Mercury, the communication planet, in Capricorn. Mercury in Capricorn is quite serious. It makes you really focus on what you can achieve and what you can do. It also isn't particularly sympathetic. If you're like, oh, I'm tired, or I don't really want to face this right now, Mercury in Capricorn is going to say, this is right in front of you, deal with it, please. So it's very cut and dry. It conjuncts Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is the planet of transformation and change. It's beginnings and endings. And in Capricorn, it's similarly serious. So it's like, okay, what no longer works and what does work, how can we get on with it? So you can see the pace and the tone is kind of demanding. We've also got the moon in Virgo, and that opposes Neptune and Pisces. The moon is the way you feel. And in Virgo, another earth sign, you're going to think, okay, what are the numbers and how can I make sense of them? The opposition with Neptune, so the two of them are 180 degrees away from each other, and that means that you're not particularly focused on the unmanifest and the spiritual. You're really looking at things in terms of, is this a fact? Can I touch it? Can I measure it? Is it real? So the moon also trines Mercury in Capricorn. So that desire to think and to work and to use your skills in a really practical sense is super strong. And it also trines Pluto in Capricorn. It's strong because there's a sense that if you work hard and if you use your intellect, you're really going to be able to change things in your life. And then later on in the day, the moon moves into Libra. So things kind of eve off. No, they ease off. They even out. That's what I mean. And you kind of get a new balance back. So it's not as serious at the end of Monday as you start the day. So altogether on Monday the 4th, you start the week with an outlook that is super, super serious. So remember that, you can laugh. There are jokes in the world. But if you channel this effectively without being overly hard on yourself, then you can be incredibly industrious on Monday the 4th. So your insights and the decisions that you make, they can prove to be super life-changing because you look at things in a very clear and effective way, and you can make really life-changing decisions. We've got this Pluto energy all day long, and it's things like moving, or I'm not going to do this job anymore, or I've got an amazing idea for a new job. It's really big, big ideas, and they're super practical because you're not daydreaming. We've got the opposition with Neptune. Bye-bye, Neptune. You're facing things in a very no-nonsense way. So again, use that to your advantage. Don't beat yourself up with it. And also when you're working with other people, if you're completely intolerant of any kind of thing that isn't particularly practical, then it makes it more difficult for you to communicate with people because they feel that resistance and that, that sense of back off, leave me alone. So try and be a little kind on Monday. If you're really effective and someone else isn't, then you don't need to inform them of that. You can kind of work with them through it. So it is a little bit much on Monday in terms of the focus with productivity and being real and being truthful and being right and following the rules. So lighten up a bit if you can. Remember to have a laugh and that not everything is that serious. Tuesday the 5th of January, we've got the moon in Libra, forming a trine, so it's in harmony with Saturn in Aquarius and Jupiter in Aquarius. We had the Christmas star, the Great Conjunction, at the end of last year, and that's really an amazing kind of event that was very much about, okay, how can we help in a practical way, and how can we expand and learn from what has been, and how can we innovate and bring in new ideas. And Aquarius is an air sign. It's about you in connection with humanity and the world at large, and what's the contribution that you can make. And the Libra moon is about you and other people and compromising and being on the same page and saying, how can I contribute something? Not seeing yourself as other, but as part of. It's very much about connection, so that's great. And with Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, they're two outer planets, so they really inspire you to think about things differently. So you may find that you approach your relationships in a way that's completely changed. It's like the polarities have switched. If things were difficult before, notice on Tuesday if things are now different, and on an energetic level, something that may have seemed really difficult just seems really easy on Tuesday. So it's like opposite day almost, where things that would have consistently been one way, you know, like certain things in our life become ingrained. So if you don't like going to the supermarket and you're irritated when you're there, then you will go in with this irritated energy and you'll always have some sort of conflict or some sort of weird unpleasant moment when you're there. And with this energy, you may find that you go there today and suddenly you love it, and as a result you have different experiences. So that's really interesting. Now the Libra moon also opposes Chiron in Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer. In Aries it's about your will and how you can move ahead, and that is 180 degrees away from the moon in Libra, which makes you feel super balanced. So it's unlikely that you're going to do something which is going to completely upend everything. So it's unlikely that you'll have a moment where you just completely flip and decide, me, no one else. It also quincunxes Uranus and Taurus, which is something unexpected in a practical way. So on Tuesday, things really lighten up. You'll notice it considerably. You do well with other people. You come across as fair, as even-keeled, and as dependable. You're also able to work very well with other people. So any joint ventures that are conceived of today will have a really prosperous future, or anything that you begin on this day, anything that it will have this as a birthday and it involves other people, is really going to do exceptionally well because of this energy that's super strong on Tuesday. And expect something surprising to come your way when you're talking to a friend, or if you're overhearing someone's conversation, or even a colleague or something like that. You may discover that there's something really beneficial to your life which you hadn't known about before, so you may learn something really great on Tuesday. Wednesday the 6th of January, we've got Mars, the principle of masculinity. Venus is love and beauty and femininity. Mars is accomplishment and competition and drive and masculinity, and that's in the super butch sign of Taurus. Okay, Taurus is the bull. It's focused on maintaining what is, taking control of things. It loves food, it loves beauty, it loves money, and really feeling like you're building your own little castle. It's very interested in your empire. Okay, so with Mars in Taurus, it's really like, what can I do? What can I take charge of? The moon is in Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, so Libra kind of evens things out in this soothing way because it's ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty, which works very well with Mars. It's really kind of cooling cooling someone's jets for them. Bad example, but you know, when you have, like, I'm thinking of when you pour something soothing onto something, but the only thing that comes to mind is like a sauna, and you throw water on the rocks and it steams up and it blows up. That's not what I mean. It means that there's this inner balance between this sense of I want control and I want to get things done, with the ability to really soothe other people and to network well with them and to really adapt and integrate very well. That's what I mean. Yep. That squares the sun in Capricorn, so still this kind of super driven work ethic. You must work if you want to matter to yourself and to other people. You have to achieve something. You know, that whole message of you're only as good as your last kind of performance review. It's very that. It also squares Pluto in Capricorn, so major changes in a practical way. I think of Pluto in Capricorn as the tower in the tarot. Actually, it's really can really blow up and change things massively. And the communication planet in Capricorn is serious. It wants you to be practical and effective and on time. It also sextiles Venus and Sagittarius, and that's where the fun bit comes in, because Venus is about having a bit of a laugh, and Sagittarius is facilitates that happening, and really being able to look outside of your existing circumstances and to say, hey, there's a whole world out there that I can explore. It's, again, not that serious, and it's not forever. It's something that's temporary. If things are a little bit much, then I have options, you know. So on Wednesday the 6th, you feel incredibly confident and resolute. with that Mars in Taurus energy. Yep. If you struggle to make decisions, today is the day to make those decisions. You're back in serious mode, similar to Monday, and you're very focused on work or what you're working on if you're retired or if you're a student. There is capacity to have lots of fun though with that Venus energy. So try and balance things out on the day by also making a bit of space to work on your personal life and how many times you've laughed that day, as well as your career. Don't just focus on one thing, because Capricorn is really good in making you effective in what you're doing, but it can be a little bit blinkered in the way it looks at things. And if you use your ability to look around via Venus in Sag, and to say, I can get all of these fun things done, then that's a much better approach than I have to do this at 9 o'clock. Yeah. Okay, Thursday, the 7th of January, we go more into controlling territory. So it's already kind of up there on Wednesday, the 6th, but on Thursday, the 7th, the kind of things really come together in that sense. The moon goes into Scorpio. Scorpio and Taurus are on the same axis. Scorpio is emotional control, Taurus is practical control. So we've got Mars in Taurus and we've got the moon in Scorpio. So you've got your claws into something and it's important to let go, okay? Why is it important to let go of stuff and things? Why am I saying that? Because if you ever get too attached to anything, it's going to let you down. And you're not a blinkered being. You're not supposed to just put all of your focus on one thing, which becomes blown up and super, super important, because nothing lasts forever. So if you are an obsessed stan of some sort of comedian and all you do all day is you're on their fan site saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, then when you meet that person, either it's going to be a letdown because you built them up so much in your mind, or something happens to them and you have no more focus and then you have to find something else. It's better to kind of spread things out, because nothing is absolute, and this kind of energy makes you think in absolute ways, and we can never be certain of one thing 100%. Everything has like a gray area to it, and I think that's really important on Thursday, because if you're super, super certain that you're always right, no, you're not always right. No one is. Newsflash, I know. I mean, you know that, but on Thursday it's important to remember it, because you might feel tempted to forget it. The Scorpio moon then opposes Uranus and Mars in Taurus. So again, they're opposing each other. And I'm really being drawn to the oppositions this week. It feels like very black and white, very us and them, very, disconnected, except on Tuesday, where things do feel connected. So you may feel that certain days you're just in it and you're in the stream of life and you're skipping along and you're just having a great time. And then other times this week you may feel like, oh, what just happened? I don't feel connected at all. The Scorpio moon squares Jupiter, the lucky planet, and Saturn, the planet of the rules and restriction and security and structure, in Aquarius as well. And it quincunxes Chiron in Aries. So we've got fire, we've got air, and we've got water now, so big change in the energy. So on Thursday the 7th here, I've written that your inner crime boss may come up. You know, that big kind of stereotypical leader of some sort of crime syndicate who's just brutal in his or her approach, and it's just ruled with an iron fist, and grudges are what keep you going, and it's just this negative merry-go-round. So you may be so certain and sure of yourself that you may come across as a little bit self-righteous and even as vindictive. Like, I'm so right that you're daring to challenge me, arrogant high horse, that I'm going to hit back at that by proving how independent and strong I am. It's very butch, it's very macho here, this energy on Thursday. Resentment may also not feel so terrible if you're someone who gets a payoff from resentment, because we all have these negative emotions and we hang on to them for longer than we should because we get something out of it. Like, if I'm afraid of flights, then I don't have to go on a flight and I don't have to travel for like 6 hours and go through security. And so that if you look at it that way, there can be a payoff to anything. If I'm really into resentment, it's because I like that poisonous energy of going round and round and round and plotting about how I'm going to get my own back, because it makes you feel empowered, or it gives you energy. It's not good energy, but it's better than feeling. So there's always a payoff to things. And if those kind of vindictive, spiteful, resentment kind of things really get you going, and I mean, there's no shame in it. Like, we all have negative feelings. If you suffer with envy and it just is something that you feel like you can't control, have another look at it, because there's always some sort of a payoff. So if I'm envious of other people, then I don't expect so much of myself, because they're better off and I'm powerless and I can't do anything. So that's the payoff that then enables you to kind of judge and sit back. Whereas the healthy thing is to say, I'm not powerless, I can do my own stuff, I don't need to compare myself with other people. So just look at that kind of thing. Be very careful if you're prone to having those feelings, because you may come across and slip into arrogance and really feeling a little bit prickly. So focus on how you can use that boss-like energy and channel it into something that makes you productive and effective. And if you can, keep conflict to a minimum, because it's not going to serve you. It's just going to cause more grudges, and it's this merry-go-round that never ends. Well, Friday the 8th of January. Okay, Mercury goes into Aquarius, so things lighten up again, but really nicely now, because Aquarius is about what could be, and Capricorn is let's maintain what is. And Mercury is the way you think and your perspective, so you really see the bigger picture now. Being on time isn't going to be the be-all and end-all and so important. Venus, though, goes into Capricorn, so that goes from let's gallop off into the sunset and be happy into love is following the rules. Okay, which I guess, if you're a perfectionist, this is your energy, you're going to love it. Venus in Capricorn, oh look, I've lined up all my pencils, I love it. So you can get a lot of pleasure out of simple, control-y things like that. Mercury in Aquarius then squares Mars in Taurus, so there may be some conflict between the mind and the body. There may be a disconnect there. The Scorpio moon, it still gives you that control, but it sextiles the sun in Capricorn, so you're now looking at that productively. So rather than grudges and war between relatives, it's like, how can I build my business? It trines Neptune in Pisces, so your imagination is lit up and contributes really nicely. And it sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. So if you can dream it, if you can think it, you can manifest it, you can make it real. So Friday the 8th of January, you really want to figure it out when it comes to your working life. Read and consume as much information as you can to trigger off an epiphany moment. You're forthright and you're competent. And on top of that, you have this innate sense for great potential on the day. And you're very tuned into actually making that a reality for yourself, making a dream, an idea, a sense of opportunity, and taking that and working with it in a practical way to make it real in your life. So you can really turn things around hugely on Friday the 8th. So if you've been in a rut for a few years, you can turn it around on one day. It's really an amazing opportunity. On Saturday the 9th of January, the moon moves into Sagittarius. Now that lightens things up again. We've got Venus going into Capricorn, and that makes things a little bit heavier and gives you this focus on being effective and practical. With the moon in Sagittarius, it kind of restores your ability to be silly and to have fun and to enjoy yourself and to not just follow the rules and get this pleasure from it. It also gives you an appreciation for freedom and things that you can do for yourself that make you feel joyous and free. The Sagittarius moon then trines Chiron in Aries, so the wounded healer in Aries. Doing your own thing is really important on Saturday. It's important to kind of make space for your own inner child and to say, what would I enjoy, and to deliberately plan that in again. It also sextiles Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. So we've got this real understanding of you in connection with the place you're in your life, with other people. It's kind of like an onion, all the different layers, and you have an appreciation that you're not just this one note being, that you don't just have one side, that you have lots of different sides and that you need to take care of all of them. Venus in Capricorn trines Mars in Taurus. So that's a really strong, powerful, earthy energy. Venus in Capricorn is still very rigid. And Mars is in Taurus, also an earth sign, and it's about control on the physical plane. Those two, if you look at them as lovers, Venus, the female, Mars, the masculine, that's a really good connection in terms of real physical attraction and chemistry. So love may be in the air here. And if you think of Venus and Mars as the mother and father, in these earth signs, they really allow you to control everything in your life. So to take care of the children and the work and the money and the hair and the bills and the Excel spreadsheets and the skateboard, whatever, you know. You're not going to be overwhelmed. You're really, really down to earth. So trust your instincts when it comes to attraction, or if you're talking to someone and they're funny, and you just trust that you're not going to be mistaken about those kind of real, just when the feeling is right, when you just hit it off with someone, it's just right, and you can trust that. You're not just imagining things, you're not making it up. Trust that and really have a good time and take care of the things in your life. On Saturday, you're going to feel a lot lighter and much more carefree. You have a great sense of what's going to be good for you, and very unlikely to think unreasonably or to make mistakes. So that's why you can again trust your gut when it comes to these natural connections that you feel. And because love is in the air here with Mars and Venus, making a decision in that area of your life is going to benefit you. So taking risks will pay off on Saturday, and really just trust your instincts when it comes to connections or reconnecting with someone or something. If you have an emotional response, you can trust that it's not going to take you down the wrong path. Sunday, the 10th of January, we've got the moon in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. So Sagittarius moon, still that sense of optimism and fun, so things really lighten up over the weekend. Neptune in Pisces is your ability to dream and to be impractical and to just listen to your intuition and to not be totally focused on what's measurable and what's scientific. Because I mean, I can go into a whole thing about that, but there's something to be said for not being so focused on what science has discovered and what makes sense in the medical community. Because I mean, they don't understand everything. They don't. Like, when you have that chemical attraction to another human being, no one, the medical people don't, I mean, I don't need to talk about this, you guys know. It's a spiritual connection, it's not a physical thing that can be explained by science. And not everything can be explained by science. And sometimes you have to use your imagination and dream. And that's why in society we have artists and musicians and creative, amazing people who kind of open our eyes to new things. And today, on Sunday, that kind of genius of inspiration and thinking for yourself and seeing the world in your own unique way, which is invaluable, which you need to kind of cultivate, because the rest of the world doesn't know the way you see the world. And if you share that with people, you make the world richer because we have another perspective. So that energy really kind of flares up on Sunday. So with Saturday and Sunday's energy taken into consideration, I'm just watching out for the sun here. You have a really fun weekend ahead of you. Your imagination is fired up, you're feeling adventurous and you're feeling lighthearted and you're feeling free. One thing that may not come so easily is your patience on Sunday. If you're being challenged or you're having to compromise when you really don't want to, that's going to grate a little bit. It's not going to be your favorite thing in the world, okay? So try and find positive and fun ways to express your energy, and don't put yourself in situations where you're constantly being questioned or examined and scrutinized. It's just not going to be up your alley. It's not going to be your favorite thing, so avoid it if you can. So that's what I get for you in the coming week. I hope you have a wonderful 7-day period. If you would like a personal reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your readings to order your reading with me. Also, the horoscopes for 2021 for each sign of the zodiac, I'm going to try and do those this week. So I'm going to get them done as soon as possible. So watch out for those. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a wonderful week, and I'll speak to you next week.